think that there's three things particularly that spring to mind. The first one is turning up for the interview and arriving at the organisation. And I think it's around realising that the interview starts as soon as you enter the building. So your conversation with reception is really important. When someone perhaps comes down to collect you to take you up to the interview, you'll be having a chat in the lift on the way to the room, and that's also part of the interview. It's likely that the interviewers might speak to that person or speak to receptionists just to say what were the candidates like, what was your experience of them. And so it's really important to remember your interview starts as soon as you enter the building. Have something to say prepared before you come along, whether it's to talk about the weather, to ask about the building, to ask about what it's like to work there, show some interest in the company. I think that the second thing to prepare for an interview is to have some practical examples up your sleeve. So when an interviewer is asking you, for example, what attracted you to the company, what you think you can bring to the role, how do you think that you can really add something to the job role if you were hired? Have some practical examples of things you've done in the past. These could be in a work situation, for example, if you've had holiday work, Saturday jobs, or if you've had previous work experience. Pull on those, talk about what you did in a team situation, talk about other projects that you've worked on, and other challenges that you've overcome in your working life. I think that the final thing that I'd talk about would be to say, make sure you do your homework. Do some research on the company. Have a look at their values, what they stand for as a company, what they're all about. Make sure you know their product, what do they make. If it's something that they make that you can get hold of, have a look at the product as well. I remember for one of my jobs, I was working for a food company. So I went to the supermarket, bought the product, tried to cook something with it. Yes, it wasn't very successful, but it gave me something to talk about in the interview, and I could ask them some sort of intelligent questions around the products, what they make, who their customers are even. And I think there's some questions that really show that you're interested. And perhaps take the opportunity to prepare some questions that you can ask them. That always at the end of an interview, the interviewer will say to you, anything you'd like to ask us. Have something up your sleeve, but have a couple, because it's highly likely they'll answer some of those questions in the interview itself. One thing I particularly like to ask when I go for an interview is, what is it like to work here? What's the makeup of the team? How much experience do they have? What's their background? Because ultimately I think that's quite a positive question, because these are the people that you'd be working with on a day-to-day basis. Showing some interest in them, I think can really help you.